Afternoon, everybody. Thank you for having me. So clearly the eagle-eyed among you will realise that's not me. Unfortunately, Roger is ill today, and we wish him well fairly quickly. So otherwise, you would have been moving from one Irishman to another, and you won't be able to have Roger's soft Irish tones to soothe you through the Royal Mail presentation. You'll just have to put up with my fairly nondescript Milton Keynes accent instead, I'm afraid. So, Royal Mail, and what we're talking about today is future now. What I would like to do just very quickly is just have a look at something that wasn't too long ago, and that's peak. So I think peak for all of us in this industry, whether we're a retailer, whether we're a carrier, whether we're the integrator, there's probably more anticipation around peak than there is for our young children, I'd imagine, at this time of year. But I wanted to give you some scale about what we do in order to support your customers. An extra 19,000 extra staff brought on. And these aren't staff that are brought in last minute and dumped in and told to get on with it. These are staff that are integrated into our working ways quite early on in the year. It's absolutely huge. It's one of the big values that we add. And we talk a lot about technology and getting to know customers and what they want and what they do. Well, we've been using an amazing piece of technology to do that for years, and we call it a postman. They have been servicing your customers in an interactive way for a long, long time. So, 19,000 extra staff, 6,800 extra vehicles. And I think you'll probably agree, so what we bring in to support your business is bigger than most businesses. 9 temporary parcel sort centres with extended opening hours, including Sundays at our inquiry offices and our customer services points. And probably most importantly, in the big run up to it, we've worked with, in particular, retailers, many of you who'll be in the room today, to try and nail the dark art of forecasting peak volumes. And I think in the main, where we've worked together, we've got it pretty much right. And let's remember, here at Royal Mail, we already deliver over half of all of the UK's parcels. Over half. But that continues to grow. And again, just to put some context around the numbers, so if you saw our trading reports, you'll have seen that parcels we handled grew 2%. Now 2% isn't an amazing number, but that's 2% on what is already a huge, huge base. 138 million parcels in December alone, and that was 8 million more parcels than we handled last year. And what that says to me is that your customers, our mutual customers, the ones that we've been jointly serving for a long time, continue to choose Royal Mail. And it doesn't matter which metrics we look at. This Christmas has been good. Our quality has been up. New PDAs, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a moment, scanned 7.9 million times on one peak day. And interestingly, I know we're hosted by MetaPack today, but 1.3 million items were processed on our own direct shipping solutions. Absolutely proving that we've got the size and the scale to be able to handle that no matter what size of business you are. And this is quite exciting for us. So I've already said, over half the parcels in the UK we deliver. That's over 1 billion parcels. But the very vast majority of them didn't have a barcode on. 6 or 7 years ago, with the exception of special delivery, none of them had a barcode on. And that Royal Mail 24/48 service, first or second class parcels, as you may know it, is still an absolutely huge choice for our customers when they're sending parcels, because it offers fantastic value for money and a quality service. But we do need to continue to improve that. And so, delivery confirmation is now live for all customers using a Royal Mail shipping solution. And that is absolutely massive. So we started a phased rollout in September 16. Through December 16, there was absolutely millions and millions of parcels already that received that delivery confirmation. January 17, as we speak now, we are live for all shipping solutions, direct shipping solutions. And in April 17, people who are purchasing their postage from the post office will also get delivery confirmation. But it's not just about that. We speak an awful lot about investments we make, but sometimes that's quite difficult to make that tangible to the customer and to the market. The big advantage to having all of that data and all of the barcodes that we've had and that for a long, long time we didn't have in our network is we're able to automate huge chunks of our network. And this is, again, a massive, massive investment. We've had a way of working for many, many, many years, which hasn't included automation, and this now does. So we're live with our parcels automation in Swindon. We're installing huge parcel machines, sortation machines in another 2 sites during next financial year, and that will continue to grow. But it's the other investments that we're making as well to support that. You may know that we've made acquisitions of companies such as Intersoft, such as StoreFeeder, and what they are doing is they're enabling us to help you as customers, you as retailers, help your customers interact with us in different ways. And it doesn't matter what size business you are, we've got a shipping solution that will enable you to do that. But of course, the next advantage is the more customers that use that, the more data we gather, and the more interactive we can become. This, surely, I think, is the biggest rollout of this kind in the UK. So 76,000 new PDAs being rolled out to our frontline staff. That's absolutely massive, as any of us that have ever been involved in any type of technology rollout can appreciate. We're about 3/4 of the way through it. We are seeing improved data flows, we are seeing better battery life, we're seeing improved robustness, and we're seeing higher user take-up from our frontline staff. But what this starts to do, again, is pave the way for the future. This does start to enable us to communicate with all of those postmen and women that have been doing a fantastic job up until now on the doorstep. We speak a lot about delivery options, and we talk a lot about convenience. And once again, I think we sometimes run the risk of taking this for granted. And often Royal Mail can be viewed as a bit behind the curve, but I would argue something slightly different. We've probably been way ahead of the curve for an awful long time. 12,500 post offices, our 1,200 inquiry office points. We are very, very, very close in most cases to your customers. But what we want to do is make sure that that network is ever more accessible to them. And for the retailers in here, whether you're pure play or if you're a bricks and mortar retailer and you just want to extend that click and collect network, then the post office, which may I remind you is going through an extensive modernisation programme, not dissimilar to what we saw from Argos Sainsbury's earlier, we will enable your customers to be able to choose that point at the point of purchase. Now, some may say that's not good enough. People may say, actually, they want to choose it in flight, and that may well be true. But I would also argue the case that this is working for an awful lot of people today. We've also extended our 1,200 inquiry office and customer services points to that. But what we have done is made it even easier for you to expose those options to your retailers. So, 2 new methods of integration. A single call API, which will enable you to expose all of our delivery office points, all of the post office branches that I've mentioned, as well as your own stores, if that sees fit, at your checkout point. Now that can be customised, you can make it look like we've shown you here, and it's got the Royal Mail skin on it. But as a retailer, that can be used as yours. But we also understand that for some, an API integration either isn't the way to go, or it doesn't fit in with your timelines. So we're also launching a widget, which will be a very, very simple line of code, which will enable you to integrate all of those locations onto your checkout pages immediately. And what I believe that does is it gives your customers yet more choice that works for them, access to extended opening times, access to be able to collect their parcels when and where they want them and close to them. We see lots of stats today, and they all vary slightly, but actually I think there is a pretty common theme here that in terms of returns, it is incredibly important that that proposition is got right, both from the retailer's point of view and also from the carrier's point of view and from the access point of view. 29% of online shoppers have had to return an item. That's a couple of years out of date, that stat, I think. It is absolutely huge. And we know, and certainly as we look across to our colleagues overseas, those returns levels are much, much higher. Shoppers, as we said, can drop off at the post office. But the way in which we want to help your returns processes is by introducing you to a Tracked Returns portal. Now, some of the retailers in the room may have already taken advantage of this. But we've got over 1,000 customers using it. It was only launched late last year. But what it enables you to do is enables your customers to self-serve in a very, very easy way, produce their returns documentation should they need it, and drop it off at one of our convenient drop-off points. Our portal can offer you lots and lots of benefits. So, generally attract service, customer can self-serve, you as the retailer will be notified as soon as that item hits our network. You can then make your stock work harder for you, should you so wish. You can make decisions about whether you want to relist that stock or not. You can offer refunds straight away before that hits your network. And all of those things are things that your customers tell us that they really, really want. But they also tell us that returns can be inconvenient. They also tell us, I don't want to have to print a new label off. They also tell us, I've thrown my old returns label away. So, what I'm very, very happy to announce today is a new service launched at all of our delivery points, our customer services points, where the shopper can download the returns label from the Tracked Returns portal that I just spoke about. Or, if you're somebody who's sending, you can buy your postage from Click and Drop. The shopper will then receive a confirmation email containing a QR code to their phone or to their tablet, and the shopper will then take the QR code to the Royal Mail Customer Services point, where they label their phone, their QR code will be scanned, and we will print the shipping label for you. That will be rolled out by the end of March. We're about a third of the way through the installation process at our customer services points. Those customer services points are also going through part of a modernisation process, which includes things like chip and PIN payment and electronic point of sale to smooth out that entire customer journey. And we talk about future now. This is now. This is us making your customers' lives easier and removing one of the pain points which they consistently tell us about, and that is printers. I'd just like to show you a short video. Never has Royal Mail been advertised with so much bass. I think that's it's fair to say. Look, I think the video demonstrates everything that we spoke about. And as I said, it's really important for me that you take the message away that we are already servicing your customers' needs in a very, very effective way. As we continue through the technology program that we are embarking on, and very vast majority of the way through, that enables us to continue to add and build and release more developments as we go. But for now, your customers choose us, and we hope you continue to do so also. Thank you very much.